Hi everybody, it's Lene. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. So in preparing for today's video, I knew I wanted to do something with, of course, Christmas. I wanted to make it giftable. This is something that when you're finished, you'll be proud enough of it that you can gift it to a friend or a family member for the holiday season. And I thought I should probably do something with 6x6 paper because I started going through my Christmas paper stash and I just had all these random pieces of 6x6 and for Christmas, and I bet you do too. I bet you have some 6x6 that's just sitting there, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be Christmas. You could use things that are solids or things that are, like these plaids that can work in. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing is to take your random pieces. Some of these are not in print anymore, like this one, but most of these are, and the ones that are available, I'll link down below the video. They've all initially come from Paper Wishes hot off the press, but like I said, they're just random things that I have left. So we're going to be making a really easy Christmas, like photo album, kind of a junk journal, but it's going to be super, super simple. If you've been curious about how to make a junk journal, and then there's like ones that you have to sew the spine and stuff, and I have some on my channel where I've had the sewing going on, and that's not hard, but if it's intimidating to you, I've got you. We're gonna be okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to score. We're gonna be doing a spine that's very similar to the lilac little tag book journal I did back in July, except we're going to not hole punch it and tie it with ribbon. We're going to be gluing the binding. So first thing to do is just do a 1/2 inch score on all of these. One thing I like to do is once I've scored them is just score them back and forth like this, especially if you're doing a journal, and that way the pages are going to turn much more nicely. So this one has the beautiful border here and the music, but I don't want to have most of this border being taken up by the binding. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to score it here on this side, because that way it's on this side of the page and it's going to be on the outside edge. So pay attention to, what's going to be in with the binding and what's going to be on that outside edge. I'm just going to keep scoring these as we talk, or as I talk, and hopefully you're listening, and remind you that I'm going to be giving this away to one of my subscriber friends. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and then like and leave a comment, and then you're automatically entered into the little giveaway that we have for this cute little, well, I hope it's going to be cute, little book. When I start these things, I never know. Is it going to be more photo album or more journal? I don't know. I think this is going to end up being sort of an interactive photo album where you can share photos, memories, happy thoughts, things like that. As always, I like to make things very giftable. And, excuse me, and I always like to know what you would do with it. So definitely leave me a comment. That's always nice to hear. All right. I love the little snowman. I'm also going to be, this is not going to be exclusively 6x6 because I'm going to add some other things in to make it junk journal-y, like some paper bags for tuck spots, and probably even some strips of 12x12, like some 6x12, so that I can do some other little techniques and things with you guys. And I love these deep plaids. These are gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to finish that up now. Now that we've done all of that discussion, I'll be right back. I got these at my favorite local thrift, and they're these beautiful, I think they're vintage Christmas cards. Some of them are from the 90s, some of them are marked in the back 2013, so it's 11 years old. That could be considered vintage, but they're just gorgeous. And the one I'm looking for to put in here is one, first of all, why aren't we decorating envelopes like this anymore? This is fantastic. Or maybe I'm just making cards, not decorating pre-printed ones. I'm looking for one that can be cut down that'll fit in this 6x6 format. So This one is just under 5 inches and almost 7 inches, but I can cut this down. I can cut a little bit from here, and I think we can make this work. So the other thing I'm looking for is, well, also, I mean, I'm going to be using this envelope for sure in there, so that's fantastic. I've also got an oval doily, which we can then cut, score, and have the pieces in there. And for the cover, I'm going to be just using some cardstock that I had that was 6x6, or that you could cut down to 6x6. And then look at this adorable little book. It's from 1970. I bought it for, what I wrote it on here, $1. So actually it was $1, but it was 50% off, so I got it for 50 cents. It belonged to Molly, whoever Molly is. And yeah, I love it. The reds in it are a little bit orange, but it's a beginning reader from back in 1970. And I think that is just so cute. Believe me when I tell you, no one will care that this is going to get cut up and used, okay? This is not a heritage kind of a book. It has been well used. The binding was falling apart. So think about it this way, we saved it. So I just thought how cute to add a couple of these pages in here throughout that. So how we would do that is, if you were doing this in a regular junk journal which was sewn, you would use a whole signature like this, and then this would be part of the binding. But because we're not worried about that, we can just take this, we can cut it apart, score it, and we can just fit it right in there. And they're exactly 6x6, so how lucky was I? All right, so let's talk about the cover. The cover, first of all, we need something kind of sturdy to reinforce these, because this paper is about 80-pound weight. And you know, it's like a thinner cardstock. So I want to use something that is got some red in it. I think that I really like this one for the front. And then there's stuff, there's like I can do things on the front. I really like that. It's got the red in it, it's got the green in it. I love this one, this black knight kind of thing. That's on the inside, but I think we're going to go for this one. All right, so we're going to, this has got kind of a rough edge on it, so I'm going to put that into the binding. All right. And I'm just going to use the blue side because we're going to cover this one up, and I can use the white side for something else. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Changing my mind as we go along. All right, so how we're going to start our binding really is we're just going to be adding glue to that 1/2 inch wide scored line. You don't want to get to the right of it. You want to keep all your glue to the left of that scored line. Okay. There we go. And as I said before, you just want to make sure this is all moving, looking good. You can always trim down whatever is kind of going over the edge there. All right, so that's going to be our first page. I'm not quite done with this, so that's why it's staying here. Now I just want to have something that's got some blue in it that will come next. And we'll just do this one. Okay, and the most important part is that the binding is aligned. If these pages out here are a little shorter, a little longer, that's fine. Okay, so this one, I'm just going to take about like 1/3 of the punch, and that's a 1.5 inch circle punch. So all we need to do with this is to reinforce our cover and get a pocket out of the situation. Okay, there we go. So our cover is more sturdy and we've got a cute little pocket. All right, let's continue on. So I'm just going to be putting sort of light colors together. So this one, we've got some beautiful sort of teal blue, and then why not put some green with that? And then the next one I could do another color green, and then the next one I could do like this one that has this green on it, and it's got some pink and some red, but when you turn over it's red. And then I could add this one, which is kind of gold colors, but it's got some more red on it. So that's my method to this. But as I'm going along, I want to put some things in with this. So let's cut down this card. Okay, so now it's 6 inches tall, and we're just going to be cutting it apart. I think I need to change my blade. Also, we're going to be cutting down this doily. Let's see, I'm just going to fold it first so we don't have to measure too much here. There we go. And then now with something like this, you want to just be very careful. I'm going to do a down cut. I'm going to go slowly so you don't catch on any of those little cutaway parts. Okay, and then this one, I think we're going to go ahead and cut off the season's greetings on this. Well, maybe not. Let me think about it. Yeah, I think we can totally use this. Let's see. 6 inches. Yes, we're just going to have to trim it down a little bit so that it'll fit within our, I got that measurement really wrong, our 6 inch wide. There we go. That way we can keep the season's greetings. We can keep this little embellishment. How cute. And then we can just glue this flap down. I need to start a new bottle of glue here soon. Like this, and then we can just open up this side or the top. Top loading, like we're gonna make this a pocket. So yes, we're just gonna keep it just like this. So this is another side loading pocket right here. And when I have like pockets like that, I do like to put a little notch so that the way the recipient of this is like, oh, what's that? And they know that it's some kind of pocket or something and not just like a regular page. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be adding these things in. Thought I'd better show this to you. So it's kind of was glued down and then I pulled it back up. So the back of this greeting card had a little bit of the licensing copyright on it. So I just took one of our folded scored pages and I cut it down to about 2.5 inches wide, and then you're going to go ahead and glue this here, and then normally I would cut this off, but I wanted to make sure this punch was centered between here and here. Actually, between here and here. So that is something to definitely keep in mind. And I'm going to take this one off. Yeah, so if there's something that's like not quite what you want to show, just cover it with paper. Now we're just going to glue this in. Okay. And I'm going to put another page on top of that because that one was getting a little sticky. Okay, so this one, I think we're getting close to our base of this book being done. Let's take a look. All right, so we've got our little pocket in the front. We're going to do something there to cover the plain paper, and then page, envelope, pocket, little doily. Okay, there's the front of the card, which I had cut down, but it's got that pretty little scene there. There's our first little Santa page. Where's my cap? I love this. You shall not go out without your cap. And then paper doily again. Here's another page. He looked under his chair. He looked under the mat and under the cat. Okay, and there's that pocket that we did. And there's a double pocket here. And we're going to be adding like lots more pockets, lots more tuck spots and things like that. All right, I did want to add a little paper sack. This is one of the Dollar Tree gift sacks. You can get them, I think there's like 10 or 12 in there for $1.25. So first thing I like to do is cut off the rough edge. I just don't like the zigzaggy edge. You can keep it if you'd like. All right, now we're going to take this and cut it down to 6 inches. You want to make sure it's not taller than 6 inches when you're using your bags. You can use any bag as long as it's not more than 6 inches wide. Then this little piece, we're going to keep this, okay? This is going to be a cute little pop-up on the inside, but we do need to cut this part down. So we're going to go like this, and we're going to cut it like that till that's about, ½ inch wide or so. And we're going to save that for the inside decorating. Oh, didn't connect right there. There we go. Throw that away. Okay, that's going to go just like that. We're going to decorate it and then it can just pop open. All right, we're almost done with our base. All right, we just want to score this part right here, ½ inch. We want to put a little notch right in the middle. Fold back and forth. This one's a little thicker, so we need to pay a little bit more attention to this one. Okay, that's going to go here. This is getting big, this nice thick book. Okay, it's going to go just like that. All right, so now we're ready for the cover part. All right, so I want to keep this for the back cover because I think it looks nice with this on the front cover. And then I found this beautiful paper that I definitely want to use. But if I put a punch here on the side like I did the other one, it'll cut into this. So let's make this one a top loading. Paper bag stuff out of there. Okay, remember you're centering it, making sure we don't include the fold when you're centering a punch. Okay, and then it's going to just be glued just like that. And we're making this a pocket, so we're going to go all the way up. Oops, I forgot to go all the way up. All right, so this is pretty much the base. It's really, really simple. As I went along, I'm just adding in little fun bits. Okay, that's going to be our back cover. We've reinforced that. That's how you make a junk journal. Okay, it's just got a really, really simple binding. Okay, there we go. So let's take a look at that binding. We're going to cover that. Now, I wanted to show you another great way where you can make a pocket. Let's take this one right here. This is still like not quite dry, so I'm being careful. Ooh, I misplaced my paper. Hold on. The panic when you need to show a technique but you cannot find the paper you're looking for. Okay, for this one, we're taking another 6x6. This is not scored at the ½ inch. But we are going to score it at 3 inches. We're going to fold it in half. I'm going to take a little notch right in the center. Ooh. All right, and now we're going to take some glue and run it down both sides just like this. And then we're going to take this page right here, this plaid, and we're going to sandwich it, just like this, making sure that we're like all the way in there so it stays within that 6x6 boundary. And then you're just making sure the edges are connecting, the top and the bottom. All right, and then you've got a pocket on the side load, on this side. All right. All right, now we're going to prep some stuff, fun stuff to go on the inside. All right, I realized I hadn't talked to you guys about using binder clips on your binding while it's drawing. So yeah, absolutely do something like this. You could use paper clips, binder clips, set something heavy on top of your book. This has been drying for a few hours. And then once that happens, then go ahead and start paging through your book. Right? But make sure this is thoroughly dry first. All right, so let's take a look in here. For the front page, doing this little flip out, right, like that. And this is I've got some measurements for you. I realized I owed you guys some measurements. So to construct the book, we're doing 6x6 papers and scoring them a 1/2 inch on the left. And then this flip out, tip out, whatever you want to call it, is 12 inches wide. Excuse me, it's 5 inches wide. And then it's 12 inches long. Okay, and then I scored it at 2 inches and at 7 inches, right there. And then I just glued in just a little scrap of white cardstock because I wanted it to be either a landing spot for a photo, journaling, or we can also add a little bit of scrap paper here. Okay, so this is about 1.5 inches by 5 inches, and we're going to just turn this into a pocket. Now you could just glue a photo right over it, in which case it's a little border, or you could use it as a pocket. But it's kind of nice to have that option, especially if you're gifting it to someone. So then we're just going to close this up and then glue this in here, and then we're going to make a little closure for it. Like that. I want to move it over a little bit. So I've been talking so much this morning, my voice is going. All right, and then use the 1.5 inch circle punch. Just punched out a little snowman from that same paper pack, and then a little bit of foam tape, but at the bottom of the circle, because we're going to take this and we're going to use this as a closure. I want to make sure we got that centered here, maybe a little bit over. All right, and so that's the closure. It just opens up just like that. And that little circle will hold that nice and safe. All right, we're now going to work on a waterfall. There we go. All right, so these papers, there's 3 of them. This is 4.5 inches by 5 inches. And my thought being you could use them for 4.5 inch photos. 4.5 inch square photos. All right, so the first thing you do is you do the one on the top, and you're just gluing that when you've scored it. Okay, you're going to score these. So 4.5 by 5, and then you're going to score a 1/2 inch at the top. So now it's a 4 inch square. First one you do is you glue it near the top. And then the next one we're going to do the same. It's important to get the glue right next to the fold. And then you can get like right up close to them, or you can kind of space them out a little bit, but you don't want to go too far down because then you'll run out of page. And then I've put paper on both sides so they're like double-sided. So you could add journaling to these, you could add photos to these. And a waterfall is just such an easy thing to add if you want to get more space. All right, I could add another one, but we're just going to stop right there. Okay, just like that. And then look, when you flip it up, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you could just add something here. So you've got tons of space there. Okay, a little pocket here. Okay, for this part, I wanted to add a little corner pocket. So I took the rest of the 12 by 12 paper that I used on the very front, that little flip out, and I cut that into a 6 by 6 square, and then I just cut it at an angle like that, and I just glued it here. Note, I just moved it in a little bit so you could see a little bit of a border of that red dot paper. All right, and then here's our little paper bag pop out thing. I never know what to call this. It's like a little flip-flap pocket. I don't know. All right, now I'm not going to give you measurements on these because everybody's going to use a different size paper bag. But what I did was I just took some paper and then I just kind of went like this, and then I took a pencil and I marked it to where I want it. And then this one has such a pretty little border on it. This is a great way to use up some scraps. Okay. And then we're going to glue this in. I've got this blob of glue at the end, but I kind of like, on my glue bottle, but I kind of like how it's flattening out my glue. All right, so we're going to put that right there. And then I just have a little scrap here of paper. And I'm just going to put some glue on each side of this, on the inside. And then this is we're going to open this pocket up a little bit and we're going to stick that right there. So it sticks out. It's kind of like an obvious pull point right there. And then I would let this dry before you're using it, but I'm going to hold on to it right here. So when you pull this open, you get this little like secret pocket on the inside. I just took a little scrap of like music paper and glued that in there. And it's easy to take the outside of this, the perimeter, and put it on the music paper. And then you could just trace around it and then just cut it slightly smaller so that it fits in there easily. And then we're going to put something in there. Okay. And then right here, you guys, I just took for this paper bag, I just took some scraps here and I just went ahead and just put a little punch there, a little punch here, and then those are great little tuck spots here and in here. All right, we're going to cover this exposed edge right here of the binding. So this little strip of paper is 2.5 by 6 inches. And I'm going to glue a little bit of pom-pom trim down. I think we'll do that first, and maybe we'll do this like this over it. How shall I do that? I think that would be the best idea. All right, so let's glue the trim on there before applying it. So got my little handy glue gun. You guys, I finally smartened up and I got like some of these little protector things from the dollar store. I've just burned myself one too many times. All right, so let's, okay. And then I'm just gonna trim this even. Ooh, that went right through one of the little balls. Hope that doesn't fray too much. Okay. Now this is going to lay down like that, but I'm going to use paper glue here and here. And then I'm going to use hot glue right along this trim because I do not believe that my wet glue is going to be enough. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this, but I want to have about half of it on this side, half of it on that side. That's pretty good eyeballing. Like that. Okay, I'm just checking to see how that's going to open. And then I'm definitely going to glue something like right there along that edge because I'm not really happy with how that looks right there. Okay, so we got this part. Then you guys, I have a lot of this ephemera left over. This was from 49 and Market, Christmas Spectacular from 2023. This is from last year and I still have so much left. So I'm going to be using that. kind of fill in. And I really like adding this to this. So we're going to do this. I'm just going to put a really simple title on here using some Dazzle stickers. And I'm really just loving using blessings on these books because, I don't know, to me that means a lot of different things. All right, so we could do blessings right there. Don't want to forget to dot the I. All right, and then I've got this little, this is December. Now this could also be like a little journal. It could be a book that you add photos in throughout the season. This could be a little December daily where you're doing little activities and making this all through December and recording things. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with this. I would love to know what you guys would do with it. As you can see here, went ahead and added a little strip of lace, and then I've got a little green gingham bow, which I think is going to just set that off really nicely. I'm going to put a little hot glue on this. My hot glue gun is still heating. There we go. All right, so let's take a quick flip through and see what I did on the inside pages. So try to keep this pretty generic for whoever is going to win this, because remember, you guys, like, comment, subscribe, and you could be entered, you will be entered in to win this one. I always give away my projects. All right, so don't forget, we've got a pocket right here, which fantastic for sharing vintage photos. Okay, how fun would it be to load this up with photos? Just like that. Little special notes. Okay, I used a little ephemera pieces from the 49 in Market just throughout this blank, so you can write whatever you want to in here. Use this great little ribbon, adhesive ribbon tape. I got this from Temu. It's already self-adhesive, which is so nice. Stuck that right on there throughout the book. And then inside pockets, this little craft cardstock, matted it with some plaid paper. This is just a little, I think it's a 2-inch circle punch, folded, and this is double-sided. Nice little tab. All right, I'm using ephemera here, here, here. Okay. Great spot to add vintage photos or current modern photos. On the back here, added more of that ribbon tape and then just foam taped that. And then here I stapled this Deck the Halls because you could add your photos or your journaling just like that. And then I thought Magical and Here Comes Santa was great to add to our little storybook pages. And then we've got some layered tags. So I love to use this tag punch. I got it from Amazon. It's in my Amazon store. So it does 1.5, 2, and 2.5 inch tags. This is a 2.5 inch. Oops, it's upside down. And then you're just going to punch. And then I just like to do that for each of the different sizes, layer them, tie them up with a little twine. That reminds me, I got this great package. These are all different little tags, and then it came with all of this baker's twine, which is really good, thick quality baker's twine. I got this on Temu, you guys, and I use this a lot on my tags, and I'll mark that down below. See, I just put them like this, and yeah, I'll put the link down below. I don't know if Amazon has them. I'll try to find them, but Temu definitely does. Okay, you can just put some more little tags in, photos. telling you, I'm loving vintage photos. And then this is also from that ephemera collection. I've got a little paper clip. This one kind of spins around a little bit. And how I make my clips, you guys. This is just the 1.5 inch circle punch. It's got our little snow people. And I just put little foam tape on each side. And then I just put up like this, and then you're just sandwiching with another one. Okay, and then ooh, they'll just turn like that. Super easy to do. There we go. So that's just clipped on there. Left some of these blank. It's a little Simply Magical. That'd be a great spot for a photo too, or a little gift card if you're giving this to someone. Okay, we've got another little tag, layered tag. This one I use twine on, and I love that when you lift that out, you have a little message from the greeting card. Great way to use this year's greeting cards for next year, you guys. And then here's a little paper bag, little tuck spot there. Another one of those added in there. Okay, don't have anything in that one. And then don't forget, we've got a great pocket right here. All right, so this is turning out to be pretty thick. So let's talk about a closure so we can kind of keep everything nice and tidy. I just took a piece of craft cardstock that is 2 by 3 inches, and then some dot paper, which is 1.5 by 3 inches, just sort of matted that. And what we want to do is put it right there for a closure. Now, you can do a little something by just kind of bending that like that and kind of giving it a notched edge. So it's a little more decorative. So it's like this. All right, looks a little bit more like a tag, and that can go right there, okay? And then the rest of this we can bring to the back. That's still kind of a lot, so maybe we'll trim some of this off. Let's do new measurements. So this is still 1.5 inch of the dot and 2 inches of the craft, and then the overall length is 2.5 inches instead of 3. So let's see how that looks. I just want it to wrap right around there and be glued right there. So let's grab the glue. Like this. We're going to turn this over. Put that right there. Now, I like to add a little something decorative, so I've got some buttons here. So we could glue some buttons like this and this. Some people like to thread their buttons when they're putting them on for crafts, and frankly, that's just not something I care to do. But thread yours if you'd like to do that. Gives it maybe a little bit more realism. Okay, so those can go right there. Normally I would let those set up in glue before I turn those over. We're going to just be super careful. All right, so the other side is right there, and I'm going to do a little Velcro on it. Now, I got these Velcro dots. They're about a 1/2 inch wide at the Dollar Tree, but sometimes they don't have them, in which case these work great too. I got these on Amazon, and I'll link those down below in my Amazon storefront. So what you can do is you can have either one. It just depends. You've got the fuzzy one and then the other side. I'm just going to put the fuzzy one down. I'm never really sure, to be honest with you, which one is supposed to be the pulling side and which is the stationary side. Okay, so I just like to go like that and then kind of get a rough idea of where I'm going right there. And these really stick quite well. I do think that they stick better if you just let them sit there and kind of set up for a couple of hours. I don't know why that makes a difference. I've just had luck with that. And then on the other side here, We're just going to put another little button. This one's a little bit bigger. All right, so I will remind you guys, giving this away, like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Instagram for sure, you guys. I'm new to Instagram. Well, not really new, but I'm new to like caring about it. And it's being tricky for me. So I would really appreciate it. If you have an Instagram app, you can also get online like on your desktop and do Instagram too. You know what? I think this needs to get over closer. See, it's already like, really sticking on there. I think I would like it if it was up here closer. Okay, it's going to be kind of a mess for a minute. There we go. All right. Yeah, so Instagram, definitely if you could follow me over there. I'd like to put new projects every week on there. There's little quick little things, little techniques and little projects. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. I really appreciate that one. As I said, can't wait to give this away to one of my subscriber friends, so definitely participate in that. And I'll see you in the next one.